Got our guns out shirts. All right, we are live. Welcome to Northwest Exposure. A little bit right on the Sunday for you.
Well, I bottled up hate when I said I didn't care about hipsters and skeptics and neatly cut hair. And we're talking through plans with our friends in the know about riches and women and places we'll go. But you don't think you're going, and neither do I. And the lies that we speak are the truth and rhymes. Hey, hey, hey!
All right, guys, girls, parents, that's right on a Sunday from Bend, Oregon. You know who Adam Buchanan is, Tradition Clothing. Remember those guys, Tradition Plates? It's Adam Buchanan's band over there in Bend. And we are here with Josh Banuelos on Northwest Exposure. Let me turn this microphone back around now. It's a little ghetto, but it's all good. We got it going. So we're going to get started here. Welcome, Josh, and welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so just going to get started with, we got a few questions coming in, but we're just going to say, Josh, what have you been up to? How you been? How's life?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm up in Oregon State in Corvallis, Oregon, going to school for kinesiology right now. Third year of college.
Third year of college?
Third year of college. It's going by pretty quick.
Wow.
But yeah, I'm enjoying every step of it. Not enjoying the rain so much up there.
Welcome to my entire racing career for the most part. Right? Right?
It makes me appreciate Southern Oregon with the dry weather. I mean, I thought it was bad here, but it's pretty wet up there.
It is, dude. It is. I can't even, to go from down here to up there, that would be horrible. I can't imagine, like, I bet you're just sitting there going, all right, cool, I'm going to go do sprints. Oh, it's raining.
Yeah, no, I'm going to be soaked, but no, it's not too bad, though. I mean, it gives me, more motivation to get my homework done. I mean, I don't have as much distractions, but I'm in the gym, and I'm trying to get on my bike as much as I can, but
good.
Overall, I'm enjoying it and, enjoying the process.
Awesome. Good. Well, what are you going to college for? I mean, what's the plan after college? And you met yourself a person in college, a lady person.
I did.
So
I met my girlfriend Lena the first week of school, and we've been together ever since. We're over a year and a half now. But I'm majoring in kinesiology with a focus of physical therapy, which I think is perfect for me. I mean, with my background, with my injuries, and my experience with physical therapy, I think it will be a good fit for me. And
I agree.
So after I get my bachelor's degree, I'll try to go to grad school with that and see where it takes me.
Well, and that's a cool career too, because I feel like if your racing career is still going strong, that's something you can do in a small part on the side. Yeah. Where some careers, I mean, you just got to go head first, dive in, get everything going. Yeah. Where with this, you can go in, work at a gym, work at anything you want, really, that's focusing on taking care of people's bodies.
Exactly.
So I think that's a really good start for you and a really cool place to lead to.
Definitely.
Very good. So you're going to school, third year, and up there in Corvallis. What's it like? I mean, my wife went to U of O, so she was a Duck. Yeah. Hence the Duck logos all over this room. But what's it like being a Beaver? I mean, I've never actually known anybody that's actually gone to Oregon State. And
what's funny is I always grew up in being a Duck fan.
Yeah.
My dad would make me Duck helmets.
Oh, that's right. I remember that.
It's like this is the last place I thought I would end up, but it's funny how it happened, and I wouldn't want it any other way. But yeah, Corvallis, being a Beaver, it's pretty interesting. I mean, it's a small town. Mm-hmm. You go to a Fred Meyer here, you see ages young and old. You go to Fred Meyer in Corvallis, it's kids aged 20 and up,
really?
20 to 30.
Oh, crazy.
And so it's just a college town, really. Yeah. And that's something that I always notice when I come back home. It's like, I see, middle-aged people now, and it's different. But it's definitely a cool town. I really enjoy it, and I like that small town feel. Good. And, I get my work done. I get everything I need to get done. I enjoy it.
Very good. Very good. So it was funny. Josh and I were talking about it one day, and he rolled across where where it used to be the Corvallis BMX track.
Yeah.
And it was such a trip. He's like, Adam, did you know there was a track in Corvallis? And I was like, oh, do I ever?
Yeah.
So if for all you listeners out there from back in the day, yes, Corvallis' track is still kind of there. And the gate is still there. And the tower is there with no legs.
Yeah.
Which is super weird. It's like, might as well have just left it up there. Now, I don't know if people live in it half the time or what. But, yeah, so, I'll just tell the story a little bit of that track was the goofiest, coolest track. Like, you'd get in the gate, the straightaway would kind of dogleg to the right, you'd hit a jump, hit another jump, and then it would dogleg to the left, and then it had one turn on the entire track. And then it would do another couple doglegs down the last straight, which was uphill, all the way to the finish line. And I remember there being like, it just being like this curved sprint uphill with these little jumps. And it was the goofiest thing. I broke both of my wrists on that track.
Oh, man.
I was, it was their sprinkler. They had that. I mean, that place was really, really well done. I mean, they had sprinkler systems to water the track, the grass. They have these little piers for bleacher, to sit on. I have a really cool photo of my mom and I sitting on one of them from back when I was like 12. But anyways, one of their sprinkler heads broke. Oh, no. And so it was set up like, here's the track, and it was set up right here. And it just flooded this whole area. And it was my second or third lap. And went to go manual the double, and then it was right at the bottom pocket of the landing and hit that and just flipped right over my bars immediately. Both fists in the ground. Broken wrists. Funny story. Oh. So that's Corvallis. So
yeah.
You getting out there on the gate at all? You getting some gates?
It's funny, when I first moved and told you about that.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to ride for months. And since I rode my bike over there, I missed the sport so much. And just being able to sit on the gate, I mean, it was it brought me back, and that gave me that motivation.
Good.
To get back out there.
That's good. No, it's funny, man. I can't believe that track is still there. But no, it's funny how when you do step away, the gate is that like solemn spot, like that spot where you just go, oh yeah.
That's where all your thoughts.
Everything happens right here. Yeah. It's kind of funny how that works. I know I still feel that way every time I even just like go up in the gate at Medford, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So, well, very good. So yeah, if anybody wants to open Corvallis' track, it's like lives in that area, it's still all there. Do it. Yeah. Like don't hesitate, just do it.
Give me a holler, I'll be right there.
There you go. You'll get a Josh Banuelos clinic first day. So, well, very good. So you going up there, going to college, it's all going very well, and you're riding a little bit again.
Yeah.
Training hard.
Yeah, I'm training. I'm working out with a few of my roommates. Actually, I have some pretty awesome roommates who are interested in lifting and getting strong, and some pretty good athletes. And so being able to work out with them has been really good. And obviously trying to get down to the track as much as I can. Eugene, I rode a few times the past month or so, which was really good. The track's in pretty good shape with all the weather we've had.
Good.
And so I just need to get some gates now. I rode Medford last week, felt really good there too. So now it's just trying to get the legs spinning and get ready for the first race of the year for me.
So everybody wants to know, what's the first race of the year? And is there like this 3-letter word that goes along with your class now, or is it still amateur?
Yeah, so
it's this 3-letter word.
Yeah, my first race obviously will be my home national, Redmond, and I'm looking for that. And yes, I'm gonna be taking the next step. I'll be racing a pro. I'm really excited to be taking that next step. I think it's been a long time coming for me, and I think it couldn't come at a better time for me personally. And so I think I'm really excited for this next step.
I'm excited to see it, man. It'll be rad. It'll be in front of the home crowd. So if you're from Oregon, Washington, Northwest, boom, Josh Banuelos going pro in Oregon, be there. How do you feel going into it? Honestly, how do you feel going into it? Like, do you feel ready? We still have a little bit of time, but do you feel like you're going to make sure you're ready for it? Is it something that you just want to do for fun? Is it something you're going to take seriously like you always did as an amateur? Yeah. Or is it something that you're just going to be like, well, cool, I'm going to make sure I'm fit enough to make sure I'm happy, fun, and that kind of thing?
I think it's a combination of those things. Obviously, I've taken some time off to really focus on making sure my body's healthy enough to get back in the gate and, compete. Mm-hmm. That was something I think I did wrong last year. I mean, I was so focused on winning the Worlds again, trying to back
Yeah.
up my title, that I think I came back too soon.
Gotcha.
So I just wanted to take a step back, get my body healed, and I think that has helped me immensely for this race. Knowing that my body's healthy enough to compete, I feel very strong, and so now it's just trying to put all the puzzle pieces together before the big race. But
Good.
I'm really excited for this next step. I think being a pro will be something refreshing for me. I mean, instead of racing for an accolade, now it's something different, and I think that's something I really need personally.
Good.
And have a little bit different motivation. So I'm excited for that.
Oh, it's very good. I'm gonna tweak this just a little bit. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. Just realized that I cut off some of the upright banner. I want to fix that. So, all right. Me being my very first pro race was up in Washington, which was, we didn't have an Oregon track at the time. So basically hometown race. I almost feel like, and it's just because our relationship, I'm always like ready to help give you advice and stuff.
Yeah.
But one piece of advice is just love the moment. Okay. You're going to be up in the gate and the crowd is going to go nuts. I mean, they just are. And crowd, if you don't go nuts, I'm going to kick every one of you in the butt. They're going to go nuts when they call your name, especially that first round. And if Eric Grindle, if you're announcing, you better give him some mad props on that first round. But again, just enjoy the moment and love the moment. Don't think about the finish of the race. Don't think about, and this is something that I know you well enough where you want to make people happy and you want to show everybody how you can, do this and whatnot. But don't worry about that. They're gonna the crowd, Oregon, they're gonna love you no matter what. And as long as you go out just enjoying that moment and knowing that you put forth all the work and whatever happens, then you're gonna succeed at. Because I know I've watched a lot of guys do their hometown national as their opening or their debut, pro debut. And it does, dude. The pressure of having to succeed for your home crowd can really easily get to you. So I would almost even say, like, while you're training, while you're doing sprints, imagine it. Imagine Redmond, imagine Grindle announcing your name and everybody freaking out.
Yeah.
And then embrace that, enjoy that moment rather than letting yourself get to that position of, okay, I have to win because everybody wants that. Because, I've seen a lot of dudes fail their first attempt at pro in that situation just because they're all like, oh, I gotta win because my grandma's here, for Christ's sake. My mom, my grandma, my brother, my uncle, my cousin, and then everybody from the entire state is here. So make sure, you just enjoy the moment. And the biggest thing I think too is, and you're gonna experience it, is just, and you do this great, you do this well already, but taking those moments and just stopping what you're doing for kids when they want your autograph and stuff like that. I think that's going to be hugely important and whatnot. So, well, great. So you guys heard it here. He is going pro. Seeing if I got it. This thing always does this. There we go. A little bit. There we go. Now we scroll down a little bit. Just trying to see some of the questions that we might be getting here. I want to be like Josh when I grow up, says Eric Philly. Eric, remember we had this discussion the other day. You're plenty old, my friend. So we'll get into a little bit of questions and stuff. I got a good one here. A couple from Brian Sam Hammer. Let's go with, let's see, what did you say? Okay. In a sport dominated by egos and factory attitudes, how have you managed to stay humble even with all the success you've had in your career? Dang, Brian Sam Hammer, nice work.
That's a good one.
All right, I'm gonna say it one more time so all the people on Facebook can hear it. In a sport dominated by egos and factory attitudes, how have you managed to stay humble even with all the success you've had in your career?
I don't know. I mean, I think it's just the upbringing that I've had, and even the people who have been around me locally. I mean, I've had plenty of great role models who always gave me the time of day, no matter what success they had. And I don't know. I mean, everybody has supported me so much. And
real quick, throw a few names out there. I mean, I want for the people to know like who your role models are, because I know who they were. Yeah. But I want them to know too. I mean, I know some of those guys aren't around anymore, but I think it's still important for those names to get brought up.
Yeah,
and
definitely. You know, when I was a local here at a young age, you know, when I first started racing, some of the big names here were Jason Stevens, Jacob Teller, Andrew Churchwell, Jared Johnson, all those guys, you know, BMX Tech's guys, and then you, Adam, of course. And so, you know, having those guys around and always pushing me to become better and taking the time out of their day to help me ride and, you know, help me progress myself, you know, was really important to me. And that's something I really try to translate today for myself and help others. Good. And so that's pretty much my motivation to be, you know, the role model now, because I had a really good support base growing up.
You did.
Paying forward.
I feel like, and I still, man, when you know, your first, we'll get further into these, but when your first couple of grands rolled around, when you're all of a sudden just like boom up for titles and stuff, I just remember like, it was almost amazing because at grands, all the Oregon people just kind of scatter. I mean, they're all kind of everywhere. But I'll never forget when your mains were coming up, like everyone from Oregon was like in this one spot to watch you. And you're like 8 years old and you're probably up there going, I want to ride my bicycle.
Yeah.
But it was really cool to see. I mean, and you really did have a really great support base. You know, I know at that time you and Jason were like glue. And I mean, you guys, he was helping you every single day. I remember coming out to the track every day and he was just right there with you. And you guys were banging out gates and banging out track time. So no, that's really cool. That's good. And then, yeah, I think, yeah, you know, your family too, just really, you know, I've only known them for a long time as well, just really taught you to do a great job with being humble and just stepping back from the situation and just seeing it as, you know, being a person.
Yeah.
So, let's go with the next one. Oh, Olivia just sent me a text. Olivia asked, who's your favorite teammate? Oh, is it Olivia Johnson or Armstrong? Silly girl.
Wink, wink, yes.
From a young rider's parent's perspective, it's easy to identify with the older riders who you don't want to influence your kids. But there isn't a parent around who doesn't want JoshyB to mentor their children. I don't think that was a question. That was a statement. Sorry, Brian. Should have proofread this little text we got here. Is this something that you feel you've worked to do over the years? Okay, I see what you're saying. Or does it come from your core values and how you were raised? So again, it's from a young rider's parent's perspective. It's easy to identify the older riders who you don't want to influence your kids. So he's saying as a parent, you immediately see the ones where you're like, hey, you know, stay away from my kid a little bit. And then is this something that you feel you've worked to do over the years, or does it just come naturally from you?
Honestly, I think a lot of this has been influenced by my parents and how they've taught me to be, how to raise me, you know, but a lot of it, I think it just comes naturally. It's just, I always try to make time for anybody. You know, everybody deserves an opportunity to have someone to look up to or just, you know, talk to.
Yeah, definitely.
It could be a BMX racer or a person on the side of the street. You know, I feel like everybody has the opportunity to be treated right. And
that's cool.
And that's something I really hold strong to. And I think that's how I carry myself.
Oh, that's good. You know, and I'm even impressed because I know like when I go out to the track, if I'm in like full training mode, I stop a little bit to chit chat with the kids and stuff, and I'll give them the fist bump and of course just have fun with them type of thing. But like I've witnessed you like literally take like 10, 12 minutes, 15 minutes to just sit there and talk with a 7 or 8 year old, and I'm just like, dude, you got some patience for one. And for two, I mean, you know, we're there, you know, and I know when you're there too, it's for the same reason. It's like, we got to get this done. We got to get this stuff moving. But I've always been impressed with the fact that you could just literally stop what you're doing for that amount of time to, you know, be there for a kid and whatnot. So it's really awesome. And then Brandon Bonneau asks, how did you mentally recover from your wreck? Brandon, there's been numerous wrecks that you mentally recovered from, but he asks, what's your advice to help those coming off serious injuries? Coming off 2 hip surgeries myself, there's still some holding back, which won't get me anywhere in the sport. Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, for example, with my hip injury, patience is so important. And you can't expect to be 100% right away. And it's just a long process of consistency. And obviously what helps me is just my passion for the sport, and having everybody who believed in me at my lowest of lows brings me up. And it's like, it's not just for me anymore. It's for everybody who's believed in me along the way. And so, yeah, I mean, injuries are tough. I mean, obstacles are no joke, but you have to treat those things as a learning experience. BMX or not BMX, you learn so much about yourself during those times. And you have to think of it in a positive way. Like, okay, I'm faced with a challenge, but this is an opportunity for me to grow as a person, and you know, I'm gonna learn so much along this journey. So.
Yeah, definitely. Well, and you know, I think too, it also helped for you. I mean, your first major injury was, you were 11? 12. Okay, so 12. So here's a 12-year-old kid saying, you know, you got a rod in your leg, right?
Well,
or was that
so
the other
I
one?
have plate and five screws in my knee, and then my hip was dislocated.
That's right, your hip was dislocated. So like being 12 years old, I think that in a weird way, that almost helped you kind of set that path for knowing how to recover and whatnot, because you were young. It was just, you know, all you really had to do was be patient. The thoughts of coming back and injuring yourself again and that kind of stuff might not have been as present as, say, an older rider might be. Yeah. But then you did have so many injuries after that. I mean, kind of building on this question, how did it work where you were like, I mean, there was at one point you were gone for about a year and a half because of your injuries. And like, how was it for you to be like, okay, because this sport is really easy to step out of, and once you're gone for like a year to 6 months, year and a half too, it's like really easy just to be like, okay, goodbye. How did you come back each time? I mean, like each time it had to be something that extra that was driving you to come back.
Well, it's always been that one goal, is like I wanted to get another title. I was going to go to the World Championships that year where I dislocated my hip. I wanted that world title.
I didn't know that.
It was my last national before going to Australia.
No kidding.
And I was riding fairly well that year.
You had a lot of wins chalked up already.
Yeah. And I didn't want that injury, you know, to hold me back. And it seemed like there was another injury after another one, but I didn't want to just give up. I wanted to be able to say that I accomplished what I wanted, what I set out to accomplish. And it took many years. I mean, but man, I wouldn't want it any other way.
No,
being able to cross that finish line, you know, after the fact, all those happened.
Yeah. I mean, it's huge. I mean, so you were 12 when you were going for the world title, wrecked in New Mexico, the national right before, and then you won the world title when you were 19 or 20? 19. Okay. So yeah, that's a good gap of like just coming back from injury after injury after injury, and then still not winning that title, because I don't think you won another Grands either. So not another NAG plate after that point either.
No major title.
So no major title from 12 to 19. And then boom, you know, Worlds. And you win it. So we'll get further into the world stuff. I want to really kind of dive in on that whole situation, but that's really cool. So, you know, and I don't know, Brandon, I'm going to help you a little on this one too, because we're the same age and we grew up racing each other. And I've had injuries as well in my later years. And I think, and I kind of explained it on my last podcast, I'm okay with knowing that every time I get in the gate, it could be my last time. I'm okay with that. I could break my wrist or my shoulder or my knee in something, and it's just like, okay, it's not going to work anymore. And that was it. As soon as you're okay with stepping in the gate and knowing that this could be your last gate you ever get every time you get a gate, I think that's when you can step in and actually give forth that 100% you wish you could.
I agree. Because
I know if you have those fears of wrecking and hurting yourself again and this and that, or more rehab or more hospital bills, you won't get back to that 100% of effort on the track. And you'll always be steadily stepping backwards and backwards and backwards. So Brandon, you know, it's just, you just can't be afraid of really hurting yourself. Which sounds crazy, but
well, I mean, you're more at risk hurting yourself when you have those thoughts in your mind. You have to just turn your brain off, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, when I ride, I don't think about, I'm going to tap Banuelos jump anymore.
No.
When you're worried about what the consequence could be, that's when you make the mistakes. So
Exactly.
you just have to ride with a clear mind.
Exactly. I'm sorry. There we go. So yeah, you know, it's funny, like when I was a kid, my mom, I'm like the worst sightsee driver in the world, the worst. So yeah, you're lucky that road trip we took, and I actually slept on the way home.
Yeah.
You're like one of the first people that actually slept. So I'm like the worst sightsee driver, but it stems from my mom. She was a good driver, but she was so hesitant with every single thing, and she almost got in so many accidents. And honestly, it taught me so much for my racing, and then even driving now today. But if you hesitate for any move that you're gonna make or anything you're gonna do on the track, if you hesitate, that's when you get yourself hurt. Yeah. Not when, I mean, yeah, you can get yourself hurt going full bore and everything, but if you hesitate, you're more likely to hurt yourself than you are if you're going full bore. So yeah, that's important to know. Let's see if we got any more questions here. Oh, Jimmy Monroe said, "Where's the love, Josh?" Josh is a very respectable man. Fastest riders come out of the Northwest. He's gonna be great. I think that's everything. How funny! I'm watching myself live, and there's a little bit of a lag. It's kind of weird.
Oh boy.
All right. Well, got any more questions? Anybody? Any more questions for us? Otherwise, we might tune off. Caleb Hansen says, "My man, Josh."
What's up, Caleb?
Al Roybal, he's been watching. Let's see. Well, let's see. About, this is that moment where we just go, all right, I think that might be it for any questions. I don't think I missed any.
All right.
Oh, wait, let me check one other spot. Oh, Olivia asked, will you be riding a radio?
Not quite yet, but I know that those frames are going to be put into production here soon, especially it takes a little longer to build one that fits me. But yeah, I'll be on one this year. I'm pretty excited to hop on one of those.
Yeah, I was actually, so Tynan, 80, who you know, who's almost as tall as you now, or possibly taller.
Dude, he's tall. He might be taller than
me now. He might be. But yeah, that quad 4XL Mabo, which is very similar. It looks like they're made in the same place over there, overseas and whatnot. But very similar frame. Looks like it's out of the same factory at least. Yeah, I was like, dude, lucky you, Josh. You finally get a frame that might like really fit you.
Yeah. Definitely. That's always been a pretty hard thing to find, you know. And a lot of people are always like, wow, you always ride a different frame all the time, and it's just like, man, I'm trying to find one that actually fits me. I mean, my height really comes from my legs and my arms, so my body type is pretty different. I need really a long top tube to accommodate with that. But yeah.
Yep. Well, very good. Well, then I guess we'll hit on that a little bit too. So you're staying full tilt, right?
Yep.
Good. I'm happy to hear about that. So gonna be repping full tilt in Redmond, a pro. How about this? Are you happy and excited? I'm sure you're really happy for him. But are you ready to put BJ in his place?
I'm excited to race with him. I mean, me and him go way back.
Yep.
And he's like my brother. And so I only raced him one other time, and that's when he turned 17 in Vegas, 1718X.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to line up in the gate with him. I mean, we both had always wanted to race pro, and so it's pretty much living your dream with your brother, basically.
That's awesome.
Win or lose to him, I mean, I'm just happy to, be able to share that moment with him. He's been kicking some butt.
He has been, man. He's been flying.
Yeah,
it'll be a good battle. It'll be a good battle between you and him, and I'm sure Marquise will be up there.
It'll be a good competition for sure. And I'll be racing people I've never raced before, which I'm always excited.
Yeah, I would say racing people you've never raced has got to be like the funnest part. Like going to Worlds and stuff. That was like the thing where I was like, oh my gosh, dude, this is so awesome to like not know who anybody is.
Yeah.
And even with the US guys, we're all wearing the same stuff. So unless you were like Justin White or Adam Scott, who are like this big,
where you can actually identify,
you can actually like, oh, that's Adam because he's this big. That's Justin because he's this big. You really didn't notice who was where, or if it was Dupree, who's that tall.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was kind of nice, and fun because you didn't think about anything on the track. You really just let it flow a lot more. So it'll be a lot of fun. So I'll give this is like my kind of go-to like speech slash you know, advice for all new pros going into it is go out there and this is the way I've even taught over years past, where you go out there like every race is a main event until you get in a position where you're comfortable. If you're in second in a moto, it's fine. You know, third isn't going to kill you. Fourth, if you're in fourth, fifth might kill you.
Yeah. But
third, if you're in second in a moto, you're fine. If you're in first in a moto, you're fine. You can flow the lap for the most part. Second isn't going to go for anything stupid in a moto most of the time. There are sometimes. This is where the new AMs, when they come into class, they don't really get that yet. They don't really understand like that change in how motos work and everything. So when you go in, just know that like as long as you're always top four, you're always moving on. I mean, you go in with the mindset to win every lap, and you use that mindset until the gate drops, and then you kind of analyze where you're at. And it's like I always really like equated racing a pro as a game of chess. You know, every little move you're making will dictate another person's move, or their move will you try not to let their move dictate your move, but it can sometimes. And allowing yourself to just go with the flow during motos is really important. And then once you get to quarters and semis and main, of course, then it starts to change. Now, I wish they were doing 3 mains still. 3 mains is, oh my God, it's so much fun. And again, it's like a chess game. Like you're going in first main, all out, but if you're in second, you're like, all right, we're gonna hang out here in second for a little bit because this is gonna keep me a win. And I don't know how many times I had like a 4, 3, and a 2 and came out with second, you know, or even 1. Well, there wasn't that many times. I'll admit I didn't win a whole lot of A Pro races. There was a few, but you know, it always puts you on the podium. And I wish they still had that. Like it was just so much fun and like really changed the mood of the race and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, my biggest advice for any new pro is to let it flow through the motos, and then come quarter, semis, main, start really paying attention. I mean, you guys got lane pick too, so you don't want to get too far back. Yeah. But it does put a little bit more pressure than what it used to for when we were racing pro and stuff. But the lane pick is important, but it's as long as you're confident, it's not that important. I mean, there's been so many times I've 1 out of 8. It's just way more fun anyway. So, anyways, yeah, that's about all I got for the live show. Unless anybody else has any comments or questions. Let's see, just some likes. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, say goodbye to Josh Banuelos. I'm going to continue the podcast, of course. Tuning in. And we're going to go further into, you know, the whole Josh Banuelos timeline. But, yeah, be sure to listen on SoundCloud when I get it posted up. Hopefully I'll get it edited and put up tonight for you guys. And, yeah, enjoy. And we'll see Josh in Redmond, Oregon.
I'll see you guys there.
Primed and ready.
Yeah.
All right. Good night.
Good night.